Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to Prime, the first edition for this week on my Media Prime, broadcasting live from our studios out here in Douala, the nation's economic capital. Today on Prime Hour, we're going to be looking at the Social Democratic Front, looking at it from the perspective of generational transition, asking the question as to whether it is possible for the SDF to regain lost glories of the 90s with those who are going to be taking the helm of this party that was once very feared in Cameroon's political landscape. We also are going to be looking at the European Union as well as the African Union, asking the question as to why we see more of solidarity amongst European nations with the disappearance of national boundaries. Meanwhile, in Africa, we find persons or we find nations erecting tougher barriers against other nationals moving in and out of their respective countries, which is okay. It's also worth noting that we in Europe, some countries may not want nationals from other nations to come into their nations with through a visa, except for the case of the UK that left the European Union. But to move from one African nation to the other, there is always that need for a visa to be obtained before moving into it. Even in the case of sub-regional circumstances, movement from one nation is still very, very difficult. So why is it very easy for the European nations to come together and difficult for Africans to see each other as true brothers are worthy of living together as one people? We are discussing these two topics this evening with Dr. Michael Ndimancho, who is a lecturer with some universities across Cameroon. Good evening, Doctor. We're glad to have you.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Kum, and happy to be here to address this issue of the opposition. Principally, we'll also be talking about the SDF, and we know how the opposition actually came up about in Cameroon. The 1990 was a very, very historic year that no one would dare forget in Cameroon. After the one-party system was introduced in 1966, and we went on with the autocratic rule up to the 1990, and there it was like
live from Yaoundé, the nation's capital. Good evening, Paddy. We're glad to have you once again. Seemingly, we lost Paddy Asanga, but we also are going to be joined in the course of the program by Agst and Nguepi, who is a politician, a former militant of the Cameroon Renaissance movement led by Professor Maurice Kamto. While we await the arrival of Agst and Nguepi and the connection problem to be fixed between Douala and Yaoundé for the case of Paddy Asanga, I start with you, Dr. Michael Ndimancho. The SDF today can boast of a single senator after the senatorial elections that took place in Cameroon. To say that the SDF, rather than gaining grounds, is losing grounds across the political landscape of Cameroon.
Yes, it is understandable. If you look at the graph from 1992 parliamentary elections up to today, you see that the graph is really at the descending kind of sphere, and we are trying to X-ray to see exactly what has happened. And it will be interesting to go back memory lane to see actually, before you know what happened, is good. It is interesting to know what actually spurred spirit in the 1990s. That, I mean, you know, in the 1992 parliamentary election, the SDF had about 43 parliaments in the National Assembly. And today, going down with one senator, it is something of enigma. Many people are finding it very hard to understand. And as I said in my introduction, you know, in the 1990s, there was this hunger for change where people were living from one-party system to multi-partyism. And a party like the SDF actually came with that slogan. You know, one of the slogans of the SDF was Bia must go, Bia must go, Bia must go. And this slogan spurred a lot of people who thought that there needs to be a meaningful change. So there was this liberation theology that became a democratic mantra in the SDF, where everybody rose up and they felt that something must change and that there should be a change at the helm of the leadership of this country. So SDF in the 1990s became really a populist party, as I would say. When we say populist party, it means the party of the people. And that is what we understand by a social party. It means that a party that takes care of the social needs of the people. And, you know, everybody rose up since it was that slogan of power to the people, equal opportunity, and it was like something that people didn't have at that time, and they were eager to actually have that. So, but unfortunately, the SDF party buried itself in this liberation theology, rather than transforming the party into an ideological philosophy. I mean, this theology, they remain in that liberation theology. So a lot of things happen. I know the SDF has dwindled between the opposition of liberation, and when we say the opposition of liberation, you have this slogan, I said, Bia must go, dwindled between, I mean, another, the opposition of co-optation, which is Bia must share. And then when we say Bia must share, it means that at one moment you don't know their stand, whether they have a liberation or they are to share the government with Mr. Bia, or they are to share asset with Mr. Bia. In another way, you see this, the opposition, the SDF, the opposition or proposition, where they say Bia must change, meaning that Bia must change some of the. So there are a lot of issues that have come across in the SDF, and I remember, you know, during that launching where about 6 people lost their lives, and a lot of people had taken the SDF like, I mean, like a religion. You know, it became a religion, a household kind of practice. And today we are saying that the SDF is down with one senator. I mean, it is unbelievable. But in the course of the discussion, we are going to be able to x-ray and to say exactly where they went wrong, because I know there are a lot of things in which the SDF went wrong. There is a lack of internal democracy in the SDF, which of course many people would bear with it, that one leader for decades, and I know, and there is this issue of opposition even in Africa as a whole, where you think that if you are the main founder of a party, you will remain the leader of that party until you die. So you see that people now very much often confuse the issue of change to mean that when you clamor for change, it means you are becoming indisciplined. And now they are confused between the issue of indiscipline and the issue of versus dictatorship. So you see this, and then Article 8.22 came into play. So we know that a lot of people have left the SDF, perhaps I may say innocently, because of Article 8.2, and there are things that will have been negotiated. Social Democratic Front is a party of negotiation. Social means that we have to sit on the table and we negotiate. It is not dictatorial, and these are some of the mistakes, and we are going to list many other mistakes where SDF went wrong.
Okay, we don't know whether Paddy is connected already. Good evening, Paddy, are you there? Okay, we can see Paddy Asanga. Paddy, good evening and welcome. Paddy Asanga, good evening and welcome. Very poor network there in Yaoundé for Paddy to get connected to this program today. Now, we stay with you, Dr. Michael Ndimancho. We are looking at the Social Democratic Front. When you look at the SDF today, what is its real political strength?
Well, political strength lies now on the very foundation of the party, which is the rules and regulation and the ideology that they had at the beginning. I think that this is what has not gone off the minds of the people. Those, I mean, and you realize that there is also remnants. What I mean by a remnant is that even though many people have left, there are still people who are there who are ready to preach that gospel to the other people who are coming. And like I say these days, I've been vocal about the issue of the SDF reconstituting itself. The SDF now is the party of the future. And I'm sure when I say the SDF the party of the future, some people get angry. They say the SDF is dead and buried. It is not dead and buried. The SDF is the party of the youth. And I enjoin all the old people, the old party militants who are there, they should inculcate in those youth that are coming the very ideologies, or that very doctrine, that very theology under which the SDF was formed. And I think that was what has kept the SDF standing tall. And as I said, it has become a religion. And something in religion, something is ideology, it is very difficult to kill. And that is what is keeping them going. They have that ideology that there is that change that they are hungry for. That very change that they went for in the 1990s is the very change they are having today, because nothing much has changed. The very person they fought to oust at the helm of the presidency is still there. You know that slogan, as I said, beer must go. That slogan actually doesn't have to change today, because the beer has no go. The beer is still there, and a lot of things that they talked about, where they decried the mismanagement and all of those things are still happening today. But it's just that their mood, their mode of operation has actually changed, whereby you find a lot of people have come up with greed. In the 1990s, for example, Ndimancho was looked upon just as the leader of the SDF. He was looked upon just as that charismatic man who came out and wanted to sacrifice himself to pull the SDF forward. That pelican that wanted to wound himself to feed his young. That is how he was looked upon. But as time went on, up to today, you know, a lot of people have come and criticized him, and a lot are saying this is an illiterate and he cannot rule the country. So now you find that there is just now those points, those derogatory statements that people make. I mean, those mistakes that they see in him now, and those mistakes are born out of the desire, the selfish desire to rule and to overthrow him. Even though I decry the fact that he should have stayed there for this long, but I think that the aspiration of other people to come over and take over power is not genuine aspiration. It is selfish aspiration. So, but to say that the SDF is about 30-something years today and is still standing tall, it means that there is something they are hanging on. There is something that the people are hanging on. And when I looked at the reorganization that took place and in some areas recently, then you give me reason to say that actually there is something that these people are having or are hanging on as far as the SDF is concerned. Apart from the fact that, you know, there has been this disconnection with the democratic development, whereby you find the SDF only, just like other parties, you only see them between the elections. You know, it means that they have lost that touch with the base, and this is just one fundamental issue why the SDF is having. But we will understand it so. You know, the base used to be the northwest and the southwest. With the crisis, it has fragilized things. The crisis has actually incapacitated the SDF to be able to go to the hinterlands as they used to do, to make the people, to talk with the people, to arouse the continuous feelings of the people, to let the people continue to have that hope for the future. So, but I think the people in the base, even though there is this crisis, they still understand the fact that it is this party that preach power to the people and equal opportunities. That's why they keep on hanging. And if there is that leadership that they have not lost hope in, many elites, the elites of the party must have lost hope. But I think that there are many more people who still believe that the SDF can deliver. And as I said, it is a party of the future. And it is just time for them to re-dynamize, re-strategize, look at the future, give the youth the responsibility that are needed, and get the youth going. Let the remnants that have remained be able to inculcate. Let the remnants that have remained be able to preach that doctrine of that theological liberation that they have always preached. And I think that the SDF will stand tall again.
Okay, I don't know whether Paddy is connected now. Paddy, good evening and welcome. Definitely not a good night for connection with Paddy. We just have been joined by Alex Nguepi, who is a politician, former militant of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement. Alex, bonsoir et bienvenue.
Bonsoir Léo, bonsoir les personnes qui nous suivent ce soir. Je m'excuse de ce petit retard-là. J'espère que les excuses sont acceptées par vous et par ceux qui nous suivent.
Okay. Alex, we are talking about the Social Democratic Front today. What, according to you, could be the real weight, political weight of the Social Democratic Front today? Quel est le poids réel du SDF par rapport à ce que vous voyez?
Bon, pour moi, le SDF reste... je vais employer un mot, je vais utiliser un mot que les gens ont utilisé de la France. Le SDF, pour moi, reste la vraie renaissance.
Okay.
J'ai même qualifié, il y a cela quelques temps, le SDF du phénix qui renaît de ses cendres. Contrairement à ce que j'en pense, les gens qui ont dit que le SDF était mort, j'attends toujours qu'on nous présente le corps du SDF et le cercueil du SDF. Les gens ont fait des mauvaises analyses. Hein. Ils ont oublié que le SDF avait 3 bastions. Madame dit 4 ancrages historiques, 4 ancrages. Le sud-ouest, le nord-ouest, l'ouest et le littoral. Bon, vu l'évolution de la scène politique camerounaise, vu les plans que le parti au pouvoir a eu à faire, le SDF s'est retrouvé avec 2 ancrages principaux. Hein, depuis plus de 10 ans, on va dire une quinzaine d'années, dans l'année 2020. Le nord-ouest, le sud-ouest. Car les gens ne savent pas que le SDF a eu plus de 20 mairies dans le nord-ouest. Les gens savent oublier ça, que le RDPC a battu le SDF dans le nord-ouest. Donc, en 2018, lorsque la crise anglophone était très très élevée, le SDF, le camp du SDF, en l'occurrence l'honorable président Josué Choix, n'a pas réalisé des scores honorables de ce côté-là. Du coup, les gens commencent à dire qu'ils étaient décédés, étaient morts. Ils ont oublié que les populations du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest se sont déplacées. Donc, ces populations n'ont pas pu voter. Ce sont l'administration camerounaise avec l'armée, s'il faut dire comme ça, qui ont voté de ce côté. Donc, les gens du nord ou du sud-est n'ont pas pu voter, prendre pour les élections. Pareil aussi en 2020, lorsqu'on a parlé des élections locales, législatives et des mairies, le SDF n'a pas eu grand chose là-bas parce qu'effectivement, ceux qui ont pris part au vote, ce n'étaient pas les résidents du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest. C'était des populations, c'était des administrateurs civils, c'était des fonctionnaires, des enseignants qui sont venus depuis Yaoundé, depuis Douala. C'était les forces de maintien de l'ordre et de défense qui ont pris part. Donc, venir donc dire que le SDF est décédé, est mort parce que le SDF est quitté de 16 députés à 5 députés, je crois que c'est une vision erronée. Hein, le SDF n'a rien perdu au niveau du littoral. Le SDF a toujours eu 3 sièges dans le littoral. Au niveau du Parlement. Et ils ont encore eu les 3 sièges. Au Mungo, 1 siège, Vouri Centre, 1 siège, Douala 3e, 1 siège, Vouri Est, 1 siège. Voilà les 3 sièges que le SDF a toujours eu dans le littoral. Et sur ce point, le SDF n'a pas reculé. Le SDF est resté égal à lui-même. Maintenant, on peut quand même avouer qu'il y a un petit recul notoire qu'on a remarqué à l'ouest du Cameroun. Depuis l'existence du MRC, il faut avouer que les régions comme la Maine-Noire où le SDF avait plusieurs fois eu à rafler les sièges là-bas, députés et les sièges pour les élections locales. Oui, on peut dire que le MRC, on peut dire comme ça, le MRC est venu jouer sur ce terrain. On peut dire au niveau de la MIFI, le MRC est venu jouer sur ce terrain. Donc, si on parle de l'Ouest Cameroun, on peut dire que le SDF a régressé, a reculé à l'Ouest Cameroun. Mais, venir faire une lecture dans la globalité, je dis non. Et quand on regarde dans le déploiement du SDF qui s'effectue aujourd'hui, on se rend compte que le SDF aujourd'hui est présent dans le sud du Cameroun. Chose qui n'était pas avant, parce qu'avant, les gens savent parce que le SDF n'avait pas une forte représentation dans le sud du Cameroun. Le SDF aujourd'hui est présent dans tous les départements du sud du Cameroun. Ils ont élu tout récemment un régional, ça fait pas encore 2 mois. Ils sont présents dans la vallée du Thème, ils sont présents dans l'océan, ils sont présents au niveau du Djaïlobo. Et ils sont présents au niveau de l'Anvila. Donc, on commence à se dire ça parce qu'en fait, le SDF s'est redéployé. C'est qu'en fait, le SDF est dans un esprit de renouvellement. On va dire que le SDF a toujours parlé du socialisme, des problèmes des travailleurs, du social. Le SDF a toujours défendu le fédéralisme, mais aujourd'hui, le SDF est dans l'esprit de renouvellement. Le SDF est dans l'esprit de transition générationnelle. Parce qu'en fait, ceux qui ont milité au SDF dans les années 90 sont en train de passer la main vers d'autres personnes, vers une jeunesse. Et vous allez voir qu'aujourd'hui, SDF, donc, ceux qui sont élus sont des jeunes. Vous allez voir que ce sont les personnes qui ont les 40 ans qui disent aujourd'hui SDF. Et d'ailleurs, le leader charismatique du SDF, le président Ndimancho Fundi, l'a très bien dit. Il a dit qu'il ne va pas se représenter à la tête du parti lors du prochain congrès. Déjà qu'en 2016, il avait fait annonce qu'il ne prendra pas part aux élections de 2018. Pour 2018, il a eu à maintenir sa promesse. Donc, le SDF est en train d'insuffler un nouveau souffle au parti politique camerounais. Ils veulent dire le SDF veut dire au parti politique camerounais que on peut passer à autre chose. On ne peut pas être président à vie d'une façon politique. Et je pense que ce message s'adresse particulièrement au RDPC, où on a un président qui est resté à vie, qui est là au RDPC depuis 1985, je crois que le RDPC existe. Donc on va dire depuis 37 ans ou 38 ans, où le président du RDPC est resté là, mais le SDF passe au flambeau. Donc, il ne faudrait pas que les gens soient surpris de voir, de découvrir dans les prochains jours, prochaines semaines, prochains mois, un SDF nouveau, un SDF avec un nouveau projet de société, un SDF rajeuni. Donc, je voudrais juste rassurer le peuple camerounais que ceux qui pensent que le SDF est mort doivent se détromper. Mais d'ailleurs, ces 32 démissionnaires exclus, le G32 du SDF. Concrètement, ce qu'on croit, c'est qu'en fait, ce G32 n'est qu'une transition générationnelle. Ce sont les personnes qui ont tout eu du SDF. Ce sont les personnes qui ont été maires, députés, sénateurs du SDF, qui se sont enrichis au SDF et qui ont pensé à un moment qu'ils devaient rester là, qu'ils devaient même prendre tête du parti et qui ont refusé ce passage à témoin. Alors ces personnes ont tout fait, ont commencé à saluer le parti, ont estimé que le parti devait toujours être dirigé par ces vieux-là, par ces personnes, parce que il faut que je le dise, je le réitère, le G32 du SDF ont tout eu dans le SDF. Ils étaient rien avant d'être au SDF. Ils étaient des personnes incognito. Plusieurs parmi eux, grâce au SDF, ont été des députés.
Okay.
Plusieurs ont été des maires.
Yes.
Donc...
No. Don't talk about those guys. We are going to come to them. Yes, but we recently saw some high-profile militants leaving or they were excluded from the party, and we know that Honorable Nietzsche is amongst those who were asked to leave the party. Will the SDF not be far weaker without these persons?
I really do not think.
Okay.
I think that these people who are leaving from the party and people don't want to adhere to the changes in the party. Okay. Of course, the changes are shaking them off. It is not really because you reach at a certain moment where you cannot bear the heat. And if you cannot bear the heat within, the best thing is to get out of it. And I want to quote Ndimancho Fundi at the 31st anniversary celebration of the SDF when he said, "I call on everybody to get back to their rules as true vanguards of a democratic, free, prosperous, and just Cameroon." This is a very, very important statement to say that, you know, a lot of people came to the SDF out of adventurism. A lot of people are opportunists, were opportunists in the SDF, and they felt that they can just do anything and go away with. And, you know, one of the issues was that they didn't want to respect the rules of the party. And they think that it's just that banana republic where you just come in and you do just any haphazard thing. And I think the best thing to do is to also cut off this kind of breeds. And that is the best thing that the SDF has done.
When you cut them off, you also weaken the party.
See, when you want to jump high, you shift back. Mm-hmm. You shift back, giving yourself space and meditation to be able to jump high. And I don't think that is weakening the party. It's a form of rejuvenation. It's a form of rejuvenation. And by doing this, it should be followed by further reforms. It should be followed by further reform, because when you want to rejuvenate something, it means that you want to give a new sphere to it. You want to give a new picture of it. You want to give a new energy to it. And I'm sure that the SDF, as I said earlier, one of the reforms that they want to do is to bring in the youths. Most of these people who were ousted or who felt the heat and went away are those who think that they were the all and all of the party. And I think that today, party politics is an issue of the youth. The energy that the party exerts is a youth energy, is a youthful energy.
Yeah, but what would you respond to this person who says the SDF is dead and gone? What is left is the funeral. SDF died when it shifted from an opposition party to an accompanying party. What level of opposition were people expecting to see the SDF? And is this not also the fault we have with Cameroonians who would immediately define you working in collaboration with another person? They say you are accompanying?
Yeah. Yes, one of the things that people were expecting the SDF to do is to go the Kamto way.
Okay.
Yes, to like they think that Ndimancho Funde will have seized power by power. And this started even in the 1990s. It's not even today this has started. But I remember Ndimancho saying, I want to spare my people. I don't want to spill blood. I want to. The Socialist Party is a party of, it's a democratic party that goes gradually but surely. So the people's aspiration was that in the face of all these difficulties, as people have failed to take power from Mr. Biya, who took over since 1982, the SDF is supposed to go radical. Perhaps they expected Ndimancho to go, get as a general in the bush. Even the Amazonians, they expected Ndimancho to join them and say that, okay, I'm your leader now, let us fight Yaoundé. And Ndimancho Funde told them, no, I will not trample on the blood of my people because I want power. If anybody wants to trample on the blood of people because of power, let him get on. And as always said, no drop of blood of an individual is worth the political aspiration or the political gain of anybody. You don't have to spill blood because you want a political position. So I think that this is what people wanted. The Ndimancho should become radical. Ndimancho should become a Makiza, or should become some kind of, a colony that is going to fight and get down to Yaoundé and Ausbia. But then, since he has not taken this posture, given the fact that he is being guided by the principles, the Social Party is a left-wing party. He's being guided by the principle of a democratic institution like the SDF. People didn't want that. And that is where many people got confused. They thought that because it is a populist party, okay, he can just come out like that and announce and say that, okay, from today, I'm announcing, I'm declaring disorder, civil disobedience, ghost towns, and all of this. And then many people will have clapped. But for how long will this have gone? The SDF doesn't have an army because they also need strategization. How do you come and make this kind of statement without an army? You are a party that has to go with negotiation. You have to go with the people. You have to go with the ballot box. You don't have to go by radical means. And many people, when they didn't see this happen, and I understand too the people, the Cameroonians, there's a lot of frustration. There is a lot of suffering in the face of price hikes, in the face of inflation, and in the face of difficulties in just having a meal a day. A lot of people get frustrated. A hungry man is an angry man, and therefore, when you are angry, one of the best things you think you can do is just to take the law into your hand. And this is what the SDF has refused to do. I think that the AVS is sending a message to the people. I'm not totally 100% with the procedure that they have taken, but at least I think that going and being guided by the principle of the SDF and the Social Democratic Front, I think that it is just right for them to go gradually. They were meant to take power from the ballot box. Let the power come from the ballot box. Okay.
We are told Paddy Asanga is online. Good evening, Paddy. We're glad to have you.
Yes. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, Paddy, you are on. Good evening. We're glad to have you.
Hello.
Yes, Paddy, you are on.
Yes, you. Yeah, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you are on.
Not very good, but I hope. Yes. So I have been trying to gather what all the other panelists are saying, and I'm going to focus on your topic, and I'm going to talk about the SDF. The truth is that the SDF was launched in Bamenda in 1990, the 26th of May 1990, and many people joined the SDF, Anglophones like Francophones coming into the SDF, understanding that the SDF was the national party that was going to go back to the federal constitution of Fumban, which the SDF has always stood for. Now, we get to a situation where people joined the SDF and wanted the SDF to work on corpses to gain power. But at the time, you can remember the population of Cameroon was just 10 million. So who were supposed to be worked upon? Moving forward, we have gravitated, made some concessions, stood our grounds, had our philosophy, and then we find ourselves in the situation where we find ourselves today. I think the SDF is being talked about today because the SDF is the SDF. There is nothing other than the SDF. And it is a social democratic party with an ideology, with an agenda, with aspirations to govern without the barrel of the gun. Remember, the whole idea that other political parties are endorsing today is embedded in the DNA of the SDF. Now, the SDF has a charismatic leader who is John Fundi, who has held the SDF, held the opposition in the Northwest, in the Southwest for a very long time until people came in because of the bad governance of Mr. Biya's Jacobinist regime, and they said they were going to fight Mr. Biya. So how do you accuse the SDF for standing tall, producing parliamentarians, producing the youngest ever parliamentarians, senators, has been the and articulating the aspirations of Anglophone Cameroonians, but the aspirations if there is any other political party that is existing in the 10 regions of the Cameroon, apart from the CPDF, it is the SDF. So now we have a charismatic leader that people have run elections against him and lost. And that's why the chairman is there. And he said, we have to transit from one generation to another. Nobody forced him, and I can bet you nobody would beat the chairman of the SDF in any elections within the SDF. It's impossible. But he said, okay, they are clamoring for change. I am the one who have been facing Mr. Biya, telling him the truth, and told him that, look, you are the usurper of my power, and I am on the ground. I know what is happening. If you don't be your hands, and what has happened, Mr. Biya has lost it all. So where does the SDF stand today? The SDF stands today in some kind of national transition where they are Chairman John Fungi is saying that I'm taking the vaccine and you, the youth, you should come up and become municipal mayors, councillors, and on, in all the 10 regions of Cameroon as it is of now. So what are we talking about, Mr. Liu? We, who thinks federalism, who thinks we within the SDF? You want to understand that people want to associate the SDF with the emblematic, charismatic person of Miss John Fundi. No, I want to tell people who don't understand this, what I want to tell them is this. The SDF is not a property of Miss John Fundi, neither is it a property of Nietzsche, it's not a property of Joshua Osi, it's not a property of Fobi Chinda. It is
okay, the networks, very poor networks are out there.
To any other political party in this country, the SDF is calling the youths to come up and take positions and occupy, represent themselves, so that we don't stay in that perpetual situation of Jacobinism where people will hang on to power and think that it is their right, like that's happening. We want to talk about the transition to play with
okay, the lines are not too good.
The Congress in Joshua Osi, and we had the results that were what we had.
The lines are not too good. We are going to be reconnecting to Paddy Asanga in the course of the program. But it raised the issue. There are persons who are leaving the Social Democratic Front led by Honorable Ninche out here in the littoral region. He was not excluded alone. There are so many persons who are high-profile personalities of this party. Is this not a big handicap to this new move of the Social Democratic Front that wants to reignite that energy, that power, that enthusiasm in Cameroonians?
Non, non, écoutez, le problème n'est pas à ce niveau-là, hein, ce sont les prétextes politiques. Okay?
Non, mais si le parti va encore regagner les gens, est-ce que le parti n'est pas plus faible quand il laisse partir des gens comme ça?
Non, il faut laisser partir ceux qui ne veulent pas rester dans le parti. Vous voyez, je vous dis, ceux qui sont partis, le G32, le fameux G32, ont tout eu du SDF. Ces personnes sont des milliardaires aujourd'hui. Il faut qu'on pèse là, c'est qu'on dise la vérité aux gens. Ces personnes étaient incognito. Ces personnes ont eu leur fortune grâce au SDF. Il s'avère que ces personnes-là, sachant que vous pouvez prendre le cas de l'honorable Nietzsche, il a fait 3 mandats en tant que député. Ben, monsieur Nietzsche qui dit qu'il faut reformer le SDF, 3 mandats, il a fait quel micro-projet en tant que député SDF. L'ancien sénateur trésorier là, oui, il était membre de la commission des finances du SDF au Sénat. Et depuis, sur un mandat, un membre d'une commission reçoit 50 millions de francs CFA.
Non,
oui, je sais, j'arrive. Oui, j'arrive. Je veux dire quoi? Quand en fait, ces personnes ont eu énormément d'argent. Ok. Maintenant, comme ils savent qu'il y a des jeunes, des personnes qui n'ont pas occupé des fonctions de la SDF et qui veulent leur place, Nietzsche savait qu'il ne peut plus être président régional. Il le savait. Il savait qu'en 2023, il ne pouvait plus être président régional du littoral. Donc, en l'occurrence...
Si c'est ce que tu crois, pourquoi l'exclure? Il fallait le laisser qu'il aille aux élections.
Non, exclure Nietzsche, vous ne pouvez pas... Nietzsche a commis certains actes qu'on ne peut pas accepter. Hein. Je crois que les statuts du SDF sont clairs. Lorsque le NEC a pris une résolution, par exemple, de prendre part aux élections, c'est le NEC qui prend la résolution. Donc, Nietzsche est membre du NEC, en tant que président régional. Lorsque M. Nietzsche décide de pondre un communiqué, on a vu ça, Nietzsche a pondu un communiqué pour le littoral en disant que le SDF ne prenait pas part au défilé du 20 mai, alors que c'est le NEC qui est souverain, qui a pris cette résolution. Je crois que c'est un acte de trahison. Vous comprenez? Nietzsche est allé en défiance contre le SDF. Donc, je pense que le chairman a trop attendu. Le NEC a pris des résolutions, on l'a constaté leur auto-exclusion. C'est un autre débat. C'est un autre débat. Hein? Mais il faut dire que ces personnes-là ont eu du SDF et ils ne voulaient pas céder la main. Maintenant, ces personnes, j'ai suivi des gens dire que le SDF était un parti collabo. Hein? Et je me suis posé la question, sur quoi est-ce qu'on se base? C'est qu'en fait, les gens connaissent même peut-être du SDF. Le SDF, ça, ils n'en comprennent pas. Le président Fundi, les vice-présidents du SDF et le secrétaire général, Madame Mère Adeline, ne peuvent pas être membres du gouvernement camerounais. C'est dans les statuts du SDF. Ils ne peuvent pas être membres du gouvernement camerounais. Ils ne peuvent pas être présidents de l'Assemblée nationale. Ils ne peuvent pas être vice-présidents de l'Assemblée nationale, ni du Sénat. Vous comprenez? C'est noir et blanc. L'honorable président aussi qui est là, la fonction de questeur qu'il occupe, est la plus haute fonction qu'il peut occuper au sein de l'Assemblée nationale. Le président, l'honorable président aussi, ne peut jamais être président du groupe parlementaire du SDF à l'Assemblée nationale. Il ne peut jamais être vice-président de l'Assemblée nationale, ni président de l'Assemblée nationale. Vous comprenez? Donc c'est un parti qui est structuré. Mère Adeline, même ce SDF devrait entrer au gouvernement, elle ne peut jamais être ministre de la République. Parce que les statuts sont clairs. Ces personnes ne peuvent pas occuper ces fonctions. Donc voilà pourquoi quand on dit que le SDF est un parti collabo, dit mais voilà un parti que l'élite dirigeante ne peut pas avoir ces fonctions. Vous pensez qu'en politique, Cette élite dirigeante va donc accepter donc une collaboration avec le pouvoir alors qu'elles ne peuvent pas, alors que cette élite dirigeante ne peut pas être des ministres. C'est pas possible. Vous comprenez? Parce qu'il faut que les gens souvent arrêtent. Hein? On dit c'est un parti collabo, mais on n'a rien démontré, aucune alliance entre SDF et le RDPC. La seule chose qu'ils ont dit, c'est que Founzi a été reçu par Paul Biya. Mais Founzi a été reçu par Paul Biya en tant que leader de l'opposition camerounaise. Ce qui est normal. Mais les gens ont pris ça, ont construit un discours de collaboration, qu'on ne sait pas d'où ça sort. Mais ces mêmes personnes qui ont dit que le SDF était un parti de collabo, c'est eux qui, lors des dernières élections locales, ont voté pour le RDPC, lors des sénatoriales. Je ne vais pas citer les noms. Ils ont dit, ces chaînes concurrentes, qu'ils ont voté. Je vais citer un même nom, Maître Lavoisier Tsapi, maire adjoint de Bafsam Premier, a dit qu'il a voté pour le RDPC lors des élections sénatoriales parce que c'était un fils d'ami-fille. C'est à croire que l'UDC n'avait pas un fils d'ami-fille dans la liste. Et après, c'est un sujet que le RDPC ait eu 70 sénateurs, que le RDPC ait tout raflé. Et ce sont les mêmes personnes qui ont dit partout que le SDF était un parti collabo. De la cinquième, l'ancien maire adjoint du SDF, qui crie partout que c'est un parti collabo, qui a tout eu, du SDF, tout eu. Lui, il a voté pour le RDPC. C'est pas de la collaboration, ça? Et ça dit qu'en fait, des gens ont taxé le SDF de tous les noms, sans aucune preuve. Et comme il a si bien dit, c'est que les gens estiment que le SDF doit être proche du MRC. Mais non, le SDF ne peut pas être proche du MRC. C'est deux visions différentes. Okay. Le SDF est un parti qui prône le fédéralisme. Les autres partis, comme Paddy l'a dit, sont des partis jacobins. Les partis qui pensent que le pouvoir central, que toutes les ressources du pays doivent être gérées par Etoudi. Le SDF pense que l'argent du Cameroun doit être reparti dans toutes les régions. Donc chacun doit gérer sa part dans sa région et le pouvoir central doit avoir qu'une part qu'il gère. Donc il est impensable de voir le SDF s'allier au LPC ou bien au MRC. C'est même pas faisable. Okay. Donc c'est une chose qu'il faut dire aux Camerounais, que ce sont plutôt ceux-là qui sont en train de dire que la branche retraite du SDF doit être pour du MRC, qui n'ont rien compris dans le SDF. Le SDF est un parti que tout le pouvoir vient du peuple. Power to the people. Le pouvoir vient de la base. Le pouvoir vient du Ben Skinner. Le pouvoir vient de la Bam Salam. Au SDF, ce n'est pas le NEC qui décide. Le SDF est tellement décentralisé, délocalisé que lorsque une circonscription électorale, comme dans la cinquième, lorsque son conseil prend une décision, mais le NEC est mis de dos au mur. Vous comprenez? Mais ailleurs, ce n'est pas le cas. Ailleurs, toutes les décisions sont prises, soit par le directoire, ouais, ça s'appelle ça quoi là? Ils ont leur organe.
Quoi, comité central?
Comité central. Mais au SDF, chaque région, chaque département, chaque arrondissement a un comité exécutif qui est souverain et qui statue de manière souveraine sur les questions du parti. Donc, je voudrais que les gens arrêtent avec cet esprit de collaborationniste, parce qu'il n'y a aucune raison, il n'y a rien, il n'y a aucune alliance qui démontre que le SDF un jour s'est rapproché du pouvoir. Ce n'est que les ennemis du SDF qui ont construit cette image. Et cette image-là même d'ailleurs a été accentuée en 2016 avec les centres du MRC. Il faut qu'on se le dise, il faut que je le dise. Que c'est un
non, il n'y a pas de militants du MRC ici. On va parler avec ça. Good evening, Mr. Liu and panel. Dr. Ndimancho and John are absolutely wrong about not getting to par on the people's blood. When you put yourself up to represent a people, there are standards that you must uphold. How many people would have died in the whole of Cameroon if Nijon had taken to the streets to claim the mandate that the people had given him? How many people have now died in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon because he didn't? Julius Chafor is writing from the UK. Yes, but Julius, you expect Nijon to have led people, or I don't know, but he says that he thinks that Nijon was supposed to have led the people to the streets.
This is what he thinks, and he's comparing with the Anglophone crisis, because now he's reducing the SDF to an Anglophone issue, which is not correct. And SDF is not an Anglophone issue. SDF stood for federalism, and I'm sure that this is what they stand for right up to the day. And I don't think that if the Nijon, there is no guarantee even that if Nijon led an uprising into the streets, the SDF will have taken power. What did they have? What arsenals did they have? Did they have a military? I mean, these are some of the things we read. I think that even the Anglophone crisis has taught us a lot of lessons. Like even with our people, brothers and sisters who went into the bushes, and they were even furnished with guns. You know, they were not able to stop even the military from coming to the northwest and southwest region. They were not able to attack the barracks in the northwest and southwest region. They were not able to banish or to stamp out all the brigades and the commissariats in the northwest and southwest, even with the arsenal that we were sponsored to have. It is not now that it has dwindled that they will have anything. So I think there was no guarantee in the 1990s that even Tamnjong went into the street, Cameroon, and Tamnjong will have become the president of Cameroon. So let's get it clear, and that I think to preserve life it is important. If we have decided to trample on the blood of our brothers and sisters together, it is our will. It is the will, individual will, because I do not see what has happened today with the Anglophone crisis has yielded as fruit. I think that we'll only go backward, 30 years backward in our mission. So I think let my brother understand that there is no crisis in the world that was won by the gun. When you look at all the crises in the world, even you look at even the Biafra war here, where they even had a concerted leader like Ojukwu, they didn't win the war. Ojukwu resigned and absconded. So, and in the world, look at South Africa. Mandela did not for any moment go to the street and ask the people for an uprising in order to become the president of South Africa. Look at America with Martin Luther King Jr. and all the rest. They didn't go to the street to ask people to support them to take power, but you see that the power that is very strong is the power of the pain. It's a gradual power. It's a democratic power. And I'm sure that this is why many of these countries have come to be what they are today. Don't ask me what kind of independence even South Africa gained, but it is important that they are now in peace. So I think there are a lot of issues that we have to understand about getting to the war front. And I said sometimes it's by frustration that some of us recommend certain things. You push your brother to go and die and you stay behind. And I think that we have to stop this. Human beings are precious, and you cannot incite people to get in the street and be killed because you want to gain power. What liberation do you want? I think that we have gotten a lot of things in the country through negotiations, through the pain.
Julius Chofo says, Mr. Liu, if Tamnjong had claimed his mandate and implemented his federalism, there would be no Anglophone crisis today. He's writing from the UK, but come to claim the power. He's not taking power.
Come to he's talking to you about Changde Pebes. Changde people, and we have never seen where those papers are. And he claimed power and pronounced himself the leader of the country. I mean, that was a moment where even those who were abroad would have come back. I remember with the Arab Rising. Arab Spring. Let me just digress. I know in Libya, I followed it to the live, and you know there were guys who were in Europe, in America, and they were saying we are taking the next plane to this country, we are taking the next plane to this country in Libya in order to oust this man, to oust this man. And I'm asking them today, Libya in 2011 in dictatorship, and Libya after 2011 in democracy. Where is it today? So you don't destroy when you have the capacity to build. So I think that even Cameroon, as an example, we have it. Somebody stood up and said, okay, I am the leader of this country, I won this election, without giving any proof. And the claim was that people should come up and support him. Other people foolishly did. They went to prison, and a lot of them are regretting today why they even supported. Today they are even calling that leader a threat. He is a traitor now. They are calling him a traitor because they say he has abandoned them and he has abandoned the cause. He rarely speaks now. We have had a lot of issues that we don't hear him speak. So where is that supposed leader, that savior that people were talking about having won election? So we need to be very, very careful. And still talking about the crisis in the SDF, I think that there is what they call enemy dans la maison. A dog cannot protect his master and at the same time bite him. No way. Sure. No way. We should understand this. We know that every family, every party, every society, every organization, every association, they have internal wrangling, they have internal problems. But when you take on like diplomacy to Carrefour, you become a thrown away son. You become a forgotten son. And this is what has happened in the SDF. You cannot be having a problem with a party or with the leaders of the party, and then you go on stage and you want to actually put them in public spaces. You want to wash your linens in public. Even any father in any house will not accept that. Even you were a good child, even if he values so much. I think it's a human that when you do that, there is something wrong somewhere. That you sham the people in public, sham your party in public. So I think we need to be very, very careful with this issue of uprising. Issue of civil uprising, it is a very, very delicate, it's a very, very dangerous thing for a political party to do, especially when you are doing that and counting on the support that is utopic, support that is like I call a mirage. You see something coming, but it's not there, because many people usually count on internal support. I remember the time when the opposition party were talking about, actually pronounced that he was a leader. At each moment he was taking a plane to go out, people would just start saying he's already going to negotiate for people to come and support him. He's going to Ethiopia. He's going to Europe to negotiate. And you see, a lot of social media has brought up to these issues. We started from the UPC. The UPC started all these things, and we were supposed to learn from there. You will even see that those who even prevented or fought against the UPC are those who are enjoying government now, because they went slowly. They let the UPC did their ranking, did their thing, what they were doing, and they were just seated. The UPC was clamoring for immediate independence of Cameroon, and the people were just sitting. They were even refusing that they don't want immediate independence. And you can imagine how sneaky people can be. They were refusing that they don't want immediate independence. But the UPC forced, and these things that happened. And those very people who refused that they don't want immediate independence, they're the one who took power from behind. So I think that in politics we need to actually learn from signs of the time, and learn from what has happened, learn from what is to happen in future. We need to strategize. It's not by when I come out today and I form a political party and say follow me, like a political party leader in Cameroon say Alongzi, follow me, let us go, and then people don't ask who Along nu, where are we going to? Okay, you are not asking a question.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Kum Leonard. A very educative and interesting program. The panelists in the studio are up to the task. My regards to Dr. Ndimancho and more grace to your elbows. Wichwi Barnabas writing from Bamenda. Paddy Asanga, I hope you are there and that the connection is better now. Did you follow Dr. Ndimancho responding to...
So what?
Yes. Hello? Yeah, but he was talking just a minute ago. Okay, seemingly Paddy Asanga is not there. Oui, mais les gens croient que le président Afroundi devait aussi prendre des gens dans la rue et prendre le pouvoir et au moins éviter ce que le Cameroun vit aujourd'hui, et que on est là où on est parce qu'il a laissé sa victoire a volé.
Bon, c'est souvent le reproche qui a été fait au président Ndimancho.
Oui.
Mais vous savez, l'histoire, le Cameroun est un pays qui a son histoire, qui a ses réalités. Okay? Ndimancho a dit, je ne vais pas marcher sur le sang de Camerounais pour arriver à étudier. Contrairement à ce leader de l'opposition, nous avons le même contexte en 2018, où notre leader a dit, je vais être président coûte que vaille. Il était prêt, il a appelé les gens à se révolter. Ndimancho ne l'a pas fait. Ok, ça me fait sa grandeur. Je pense que Ndimancho a fait confiance aux institutions camerounaises. Il s'est dit que, voilà, que, à défaut qu'il soit président, qu'on peut construire, qu'on peut bâtir de nouvelles institutions. Je vais même d'ailleurs dire que c'est parce que Ndimancho s'est sacrifié. Hein? Il n'a pas voulu que le sang des Camerounais soit versé qu'en 2016, il y a eu cette révision constitutionnelle. Cette constitution de 2016, qui est l'une des meilleures constitutions du Cameroun, hein, qui a créé le Sénat, qui donne la limite des mandats au président de la République, qui crée la Cour constitutionnelle, vient de l'action de 90, vient du fait que le SDF a dit, le président du SDF a dit, je ne vais pas marcher chez ce sang des Camerounais, il faut des réformes institutionnelles. Donc, on ne peut pas seulement voir le fait que, si, bon, qu'est-ce qui prouve d'ailleurs que si Ndimancho avait demandé aux gens d'aller sur Yaoundé de marcher, qu'est-ce qui prouve que le SDF aurait pu le pouvoir? Rien. Rien ne prouve. D'ailleurs, les villes mortes, tout ça, qui s'est écroulé, le système, lorsqu'on a demandé à la conférence nationale et qu'on est venu donner autre chose. Vous vous rappelez de cela? Les gens ont marché partout. Mais Paul Biya n'a pas vacillé, parce que Paul Biya était soutenu par la France, C'est ça la réalité. Donc, ceux qui ont voulu dire John Fundi doivent aussi comprendre, doivent aussi en vouloir aussi à ceux-là qui en 2018 ont dit qu'il faut aller dans la rue. Et les gens sont allés à la rue et rien n'a changé. Donc, rien ne prouve que ça va donner des résultats escomptés. Mais il faut dire aux gens, hein, que il y a un défi aujourd'hui qui a été construit par SDF, l'histoire de collabo. Et que c'est l'opposition camerounaise qui a construit cela avec l'aide du parti au pouvoir, qui ont construit l'histoire du collabo. Et les gens sont entrés dans ça sans aucune preuve. C'est-à-dire qu'il n'y a rien de factuel, il n'y a eu rien, aucune alliance entre le SDF et le pouvoir camerounais. Les gens sont restés quand du lendemain, ils disent qu'ils ont un parti collabo, et ils ont pris les médias en contribution, et c'est parti. Les mêmes gens qui l'ont dit, ont voté le RDPC aux élections locales. Mais ces gens-là, et c'est terrible, c'est que ils vont dans les médias, disent que non, j'ai voté le RDPC parce qu'il y a un fils d'ami-fille. Non, c'est du tribalisme, et c'est de la collaboration, mais à aucun moment, les médias ont dit que, mais monsieur, on appelle ça la collaboration. Vous comprenez? Mais le SDF n'a jamais fait ça. Fundi n'a jamais dit ça. Fundi, le président Fundi aurait pu être député, ça a évolué. Il aurait pu être ministre de l'Assemblée, ça a évolué. Il aurait pu être à l'Assemblée nationale, président de l'Assemblée nationale ou vice-président de l'Assemblée nationale. Ça a évolué. Et il n'a pas voulu de tout cela. Et voilà pourquoi est-ce que le président Fundi a fait mettre dans le statut du SDF que le président national du parti, les 5 vice-présidents et le secrétaire général ne peuvent pas être ministres, ne peuvent pas être membres du gouvernement, ne peuvent pas être président de l'Assemblée nationale, ni vice-président de l'Assemblée nationale, ni président du Sénat, ni vice-président du Sénat. Donc c'est un acte fort qui démontre que le SDF est un parti de l'opposition. Mais un parti qui n'a pas mis ses verrous, un parti qui laisse prétendre que le président peut être membre peut être ministre, est un parti qui peut être collaborationniste, ce n'est pas le SDF. Le SDF est un parti qui prône la social-démocratie. C'est un parti...
Oui, mais ma question reste sur le fait que le président Fundi a laissé passer la victoire et qu'on est où on est parce qu'il n'a pas pu lutter pour prendre ce qu'il avait gagné. Non,
ce n'est pas le président Fundi n'a pas sa victoire. Je vais plutôt accuser les populations camerounaises. Ok. Parce que je me souviens bien que dans certaines villes, les gens se sont soulevés, à Douala, à Bamenda, à Boya, à Bafoussam.
Il y a eu les villes mortes.
Oui, mais pourquoi pas Yaoundé? Donc en fait, c'est le peuple camerounais, c'est les populations camerounaises qui ont eu peur d'aller jusqu'au bout. Vous comprenez? Ce genre d'initiative, un leader politique, il n'est pas prudent d'envoyer dans la rue. Parce que si Fundi dit aux gens, allons à Yaoundé, prendre notre victoire volée, et qu'un Camerounais décède, il est responsable. Il aura cette mort dans sa conscience. Ça va le peser à vie, ça va le hanter à vie. Ça va hanter le SDF à vie. Donc Fundi est un sage qui a pensé que l'initiative de marcher sur Yaoundé ne doit pas venir de lui ni du SDF. Cette initiative doit venir des populations camerounaises. Malheureusement, le peuple camerounais n'a pas jugé bon de le faire. Vous comprenez? Donc on ne peut pas renvoyer cela vers un homme. Le changement doit être collectif. Quand on aspire au changement, chaque Camerounais qui souffre, chaque Camerounais qui a faim, chaque Camerounais qui est en chômage, chaque Camerounais qui dort chez lui sans électricité, chaque Camerounais qui n'a pas d'eau, chaque Camerounais qui n'a pas accès aux soins de santé, chaque Camerounais qui n'a pas d'assurance, chaque Camerounais qui est délaissé par notre système, par nos institutions, doit tout faire pour qu'il y ait changement. Mais si on attend qu'un leader d'un parti politique de l'opposition fasse cela, demande de marcher, quand il y aura un mort, parce qu'il a dit qu'on marche, on va accuser le leader, on va accuser le parti. C'est important de le rappeler. C'est important de rappeler au peuple camerounais que le SDF, depuis une trentaine d'années que le SDF existe, le SDF est resté fidèle à ses principes. Le SDF est resté parti de l'opposition camerounaise. Et aucun membre du SDF n'a jamais été membre du gouvernement camerounais. Contrairement à d'autres partis politiques, où les membres, les présidents ont été au gouvernement. Le SDF n'a jamais été. Donc, il faut qu'on rappelle que l'idée de collabo contre le SDF doit s'arrêter. Le SDF est un parti qui défend les valeurs du fédéralisme. Et que le Cameroun aujourd'hui est embrasé, nous avons le nord-ouest et le sud-ouest qui est embrasé, et seul le fédéralisme peut permettre de résoudre ce problème. Le SDF est pour le fédéralisme. C'est important que les gens le sachent.
Okay, the man with the white shirt, grey coat is talking too much about, but isn't saying any truth. The MRC is the only opposition party in Cameroon. Okay, this one says, good evening to the panel. The French speaker is demonstrating some true talk. We stand for it too. Let the so-called G27 create their own party. SDF will come tall and more stronger after the convention. Kudos to the French speaker on the panel. He's going to be the SDF chairman for the littoral region. Paddy, you are a man, Foniam Christopher and Tabe, writing from Jombe. Ok, j'espère que vous avez compris ce qu'il a dit. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thank you for the topic of today. The chairman of the SDF is actually doing what Foncha did in 1963, where he wanted to make himself the life chairman of the KNTP party. I don't know whether Paddy Asanga is there. We're talking about this life presidency of either political party leaders. The chairman of the Social Democratic Front last year declared that during the next convention he was standing down and that other persons should be ready to take up the command baton of the party.
Yes, of course. And you know, when the SDF came up in 1990, Pobia was president for 8 years. And when the SDF came up, they started asking Pobia to step down. When Pobia was just 8 years, the presidents at the helm of the state. Meaning that what? At that time, the SDF knows that when you overstay in power, you actually miss the track. And therefore, it is the aspiration, it has been the aspiration of people that the SDF shows the example by, the leader stepping down and getting someone else get on. Because the general impression is that there is this personality code where you think that because you are a principal founding member of a party, you have to stay there until the kingdom come. And it is wrong. It is wrong. A party is not supposed to be, you're not supposed to have a title, or like someone say, a title deed as far as party politics is concerned, because it's something that, it's an organization that many people belong, and it's supposed to have rules and regulation. Well, there's a president of Cameroon, one president in the African nation, Museveni, Uganda, who said the other day that, well, I'm there because the people are voting me every time. So what would I do? You want me to refuse? So, but I think it is not all about that, the people voting you. There is always this issue of saying that at one moment, when you find that things are not going, you could step down. We are happy at the end that the chairman announced in 2016 that he was going to step down in 2023. We are in 2023 now, and I think that July is not very far. And when he announced that, I think that this is also where the problems of the SDF started, because they started that internal wrangling. This one, Ninche wants to come up, Joshua C wants to come up, and people are now asking, is it an issue about individuals or about ideologies and principles of the party? SDF being a populist party, they know how to choose their leaders. Why should some people think that they are at a very, very special position whereby if this one is going, I'm following? Is it like hereditary? It is not. I think it is by elections. And these two individuals, I keep on insisting today that those who think that without them, the SDF cannot move forward, should be put aside. Osi and Ninche, well, I don't know. It is the SDF. I'm not there. But I think that when you show some kind of character, the face of people, you really need to be judged on that particular behavior that we have posed. So I think I am happy that at the end, Nijon has announced that, well, the youth should take over their responsibility. And I'm sure I read here his excerpt of the 31st anniversary celebration, where he said, let people go back to their roots, take back their roots and responsibility in the Social Democratic Front. By this, I deduce and I analyze that he has understood that many people have come in with different reasons, with different intentions, with selfish reasons. And as a chairman, he has studied and seen. And that is why he's asking people to come back and be those true vanguards of the party. That this party was formed on selflessness, on sacrifice, and that those who think that they have come and milk so much in this party, because a lot of people have had money, a lot of money, as Alex said, a lot of people have made a lot of money, and that they should be able to come back and serve the party selflessly. So in July, we are expecting to see, and that will be a veritable example that needs. It is coming late, but I think that it is worth it. Having served the party this long and has accepted exceptionally, because we rarely see this in Africa and in Cameroon as a whole, that a party leader openly says that he's not going to go in for election. We have had many who have said that, and they have changed the constitution and said that, but we are watching and following.
Yeah, but somebody is raising a question here from Kumbu that, okay, Nijon now wants to hand the party to the youth. Are the youth actually there? People don't believe that young people are there, but I saw the videos from the South region. The hall was full. I saw from the Marwa, full hall. Douala, and then we also had the case of Atiku.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Do we have young people?
The issue is that people have not been following, because they kind of at one moment there was that disconnect between the people and the party. So they are not following up the party event as it's going. Because those who have followed the SDF lately in the last 2 months, you will not ask whether they are youth there. Because I was even shocked when I saw the videos. Because when I heard they were going to organize this reorganization in some of these places, I was asking myself, I thought I would see empty benches. But I saw an overflowing crowd that I didn't believe that this is still the SDF. And that is why I keep on saying there is hope. That person, the brother is asking Kumbu, let him know that there are people. But the issue is not the people, but are they the real people who are to take over? But I said at the beginning of this discourse that we have remnants in the SDF. And those remnants, those who have remained, the older people who are supposed to inculcate these ideas to these youth and let them take up the party upon themselves like their thing, like it was, with that zeal, with that zest, with that enthusiasm that was in the 1990. I think that it is still very, very possible. I know a few youths who are already there, some who are even my friends, and of course, the enthusiasm that they have to reorganize, to, revamp, re-energize the SDF, I really see it in other political parties. So I think that about who the youths, whether the youths are there in the party, I think they are. But the issue now is that they really need to synergize. They need to work in a concerted manner in order to right the wrongs of the past. We are not saying that there were no wrongs in the SDF. I'm totally for the fact that there were a lot of wrongs that they did. But I think that every other political formation has wrong. Even the ruling party, the CPDM, that score 99.999% every time, they too have their wrongs. I'm saying in court, they score in court. They too have their wrongs. And therefore, when they are wrongs, the people should, members should come back and re-strategize and concert and correct their wrongs for those who love the party and get going. Not that when they are wrongs, you get out of the party and then you want to be able to blow it off in the streets, and it creates a lot of that chaos, that pandemonium that is happening in the SDF that we have seen lately. So I think that there are youths there, and we think that the youth should be those youths that are looking ahead. As I said, the SDF is the party of the future. They have only slowed down in order to reorganize and jump further and get further. Don't be surprised. In the next coming in 2025, we see SDF quote-unquote with the ruling party. And see, there is time for everything. I used to take example of the DRC Congo, where the father, Tshisekedi, fought and died. And the son is now the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo. We can never lose hope. So I think that this is about political party, and it's about an ideology. And ideology doesn't die. So when somebody says the SDF is dead and buried, and I ask yourself, can you bury your thought? You can die, but you cannot. Your thoughts will not die. It lives on. Their thoughts live on. It's an ideology. So the SDF will get on with that ideology, and I think that we will get even much more stronger, because with the spirit of the youth now, it will be like they will have a different strategy to get into the quarter and get to the regions and get much more people. The faults of the CPDM remain up to today, and I think that those are the faults that they are supposed to actually fight in order to discredit the CPDM and be at the limelight and let the people have that support. The Populist Party is a populist party. So even the person talking in Congo is still a member of the CPDM because the Populist Party is a party of everybody, the party of the people. It means that when you come here today and see a social democratic party, you must stand there and listen to what they are talking about. Because what they are talking about is always something that touches on the society. And therefore, nobody stays indifferent to what concerns the society.
Okay. Paddy Asanga, are you there, please? Paddy apparently is not there. Les jeunes et le SDF, on veut faire une transition générationnelle dans le Social Democratic Front. Est-ce qu'il y a assez de jeunes pour porter le flambeau et renaître l'esprit SDF qu'on a connu dans le passé?
Oui, je peux vous le dire parce que il y a cela 2 semaines déjà, j'ai été invité à la conférence électorale du SDF de Douala 5e. C'est un jeune de moins de 33 ans qui a été élu. J'ai vu une jeunesse là-bas, j'ai vu des jeunes qui avaient envahi d'ailleurs tout le voie a déjà eu des élus pour les circonscriptions d'arrondissement. Il reste la coordination départementale et la région, plus les zones du Cam, tout ça, qu'il va falloir qu'il va falloir organiser des élections. Donc, il faut qu'on dise aux gens, ok, le SDF, il faut que les gens apprennent à adhérer dans les partis politiques d'après l'idéologie. Le SDF, c'est la social-démocratie. Le SDF est un parti qui prône les valeurs socialistes. Le SDF est un parti. Quand vous êtes du SDF, quand vous êtes militant du SDF, vous comprenez, c'est que vous estimez que les Camerounais doivent avoir une meilleure couverture de santé. Les Camerounais doivent avoir accès au minimum vital. C'est-à-dire qu'ils doivent avoir accès à l'eau, ils doivent avoir accès à l'électricité, ils doivent pouvoir se soigner, ils doivent avoir des salaires minimum intergarantis qui permettent qu'ils aient une vie décente. Quand vous êtes militant du SDF, parce qu'il faut que les gens adhèrent dans les partis politiques d'après l'idéologie, c'est que le SDF a toujours dit que le code du travail au Cameroun est mauvais. Et un social-démocrate ne veut la réforme du code du travail. Donc un Camerounais qui a de la peine à avoir un emploi, un étudiant qui a de la peine à avoir son premier emploi, doit comprendre que le parti qui défend ces valeurs-là sont les partis de la social-démocratie, notamment le SDF qui est un parti historique à la matière. Donc, je suis surpris de voir des Camerounais adhérer dans une parti politique sans même connaître l'idéologie, sans même savoir ce que prône ce parti, si ce parti prend le pouvoir. Je dis et je réitère, si un Camerounais pense que si un Camerounais est satisfait de voir le sous-préfet, le préfet et le gouverneur gérer les régions, les départements et les arrondissements, ok, qui viennent pour SDF. Parce que le SDF pense que les mairies que les arrondissements doivent être gérés par les maires élus, choisis par la base, par le peuple. Et c'est eux qui doivent gérer la sécurité, c'est eux qui doivent gérer le social, c'est eux qui doivent gérer les hôpitaux, c'est eux qui doivent gérer l'enseignement, l'éducation. C'est la vision du SDF. Donc quand un Camerounais se dit que si je suis agressé dans mon quartier, vers qui est-ce que je dois m'adresser? S'il pense qu'il doit s'agresser au sous-préfet, qu'il n'aille pas au SDF, qu'il s'en va au NPC ou bien au Parti jacobin. Mais si le Camerounais pense que si je suis agressé, je dois m'adresser à celui que j'ai élu, que j'ai choisi. Et si cette personne est incapable de résoudre mon problème sécuritaire, je vais voter quelqu'un d'autre. Alors que ce Camerounais adhère au SDF. Si un Camerounais est maltraité par son employeur, si un Camerounais a fait 10 ans dans l'entreprise, sans voir son salaire s'augmenter, et qu'on lui dit que le travail se discute de gré à gré avec l'employeur, alors que l'État doit codifier, qu'il n'est même pas choisi CNP, s'il pense donc qu'il faut un parti pour défendre ces valeurs-là, il doit adhérer au SDF. S'il pense au contraire que c'est le gré à gré qu'il aille vers le système jacobin, c'est un Camerounais, parce qu'il faut qu'on définisse les valeurs du SDF. C'est quoi être du SDF? Parce que j'ai vu des gens, on ne peut pas quitter la social-démocratie pour aller dans les partis jacobins. Comme le G27, ils disent que non, il faut que le SDF soit radical. Non, ils n'étaient pas des SDF. Ils ne sont pas du SDF, ces personnes-là. Ils sont venus au SDF s'enrichir, exploiter le parti. Quelqu'un qui est du SDF pense que le pouvoir appartient au peuple, que le pouvoir appartient à la base. Et je vous dis, et ni John Fundi, ok, sans être militant du SDF pour l'instant, peut-être je vais y adhérer, qui sait, ni John Fundi, c'est un parti qui me plaît énormément. Ni John Fundi a dit, la jeunesse ne doit pas servir de chair à canon. Contrairement à d'autres partis politiques qui demandent aux jeunes d'aller marcher, qui demandent aux jeunes d'aller se jeter en prison. Ni John Fundi a dit, je ne vais pas marcher sur votre sang pour aller à Etoudi. Je préfère me sacrifier. Parce que les partis politiques aujourd'hui prennent la jeunesse pour des chats à canon. C'est-à-dire qu'ils vont faire leurs arrangements là, on envoie les jeunes dans la rue, vous marchez, vous prenez 2 ans, 3 ans, 5 ans, 7 ans de prison, cadeau, et ils sont là en train de boire du champagne chez eux, ils ont tout canal chez eux, tranquillement. Et vous, mais Fundi a dit qu'il ne veut pas servir au Camerounais. C'est une idée, c'est un homme qu'on doit même mettre au sommet. Parce que Fundi aurait pu envoyer Camerounais dans la rue. Fundi aurait pu dire que le SDF a gagné les élections. Et envoyer les gens dans la rue. Les gens seront en prison aujourd'hui pour rien. Donc, il faut que les gens redéfinissent les valeurs. Quand les gens vont en prison pour des partis politiques dont les leaders ont été membres du gouvernement, je dis, ils n'ont rien compris. Le SDF est un parti fidèle. Si vous voulez résoudre la crise anglophone, adhérez au SDF. Parce que les anglophones disent, ceux-là qui sont là, même pas anglophones, hein, les socialistes là disent qu'ils veulent leur côté du Cameroun à eux. Mais si le SDF dit que non, on ne peut pas nous diviser, mais on est prêt à vous laisser plus d'autonomie pour vous gérer. Mais il est plus facile pour ces personnes-là de revenir au Cameroun que de dire qu'ils savent déjà que le système central a échoué. Okay. Vous comprenez? Donc il faut qu'on dise aux gens que l'esprit du SDF, c'est que les zones, les régions, les départements, les arrondissements doivent s'auto-administrer. C'est très important de le dire.
Okay. Eli, can we have the pictures of the SDF convention or congress that took place in Marwa? I think there are pictures of the SDF meetings that took place in Marwa and Douala recently. If they are ready, let us know. Oui, allez-y.
Oui, donc il faut que les gens redéfinissent leur engagement politique. L'engagement politique que nous sommes en train de faire, que le SDF propose aux Camerounais, c'est de dire que la base doit prendre le pouvoir. Les jeunes Camerounais, vous devez adhérer dans les partis politiques d'après l'idéologie. Parce que, monsieur Léo, on parle du premier emploi. Quand un Camerounais est formé, quand il a eu son CEP, son BEP, son bac, sa licence, son master, son doctorat, et qu'il veut le premier emploi, qu'est-ce que l'État du Cameroun propose pour le premier emploi? Le SDF est un parti social qui prône le socialisme. Le SDF, d'ailleurs, le plan du SDF, le vice-président du SDF, candidat à l'élection présidentielle, a dit qu'il va financer les entreprises, qu'il va donner une aide aux entreprises qui donnent du travail aux jeunes diplômés. Vous comprenez? Pour dire quoi? Une entreprise, par exemple, qui embauche 30 personnes par an, ok? Et que l'entreprise vient embaucher 15 jeunes. Alors, le candidat du SDF à l'époque, aussi au choix, avait dit cette entreprise-là aura des financements de l'État. Parce que l'entreprise peut donner 30 emplois aux gens déjà formés, aux gens qui ont l'expérience. Mais le simple fait que l'entreprise va prendre 15 personnes qui ont l'expérience et 15 jeunes Camerounais pour le premier emploi, alors l'État du Cameroun devait les accompagner. Et c'est ce que le SDF prône. Il faut que les gens adhèrent dans les partis politiques. Pas parce qu'on dit que tel est de ma région, ou tel c'est... Non. On adhère dans les partis politiques parce qu'on a un idéal. Qu'est-ce qu'on propose? Quelqu'un dit qu'on ne veut plus la guerre de nos eaux. Sachez que le seul parti pour l'instant qui a un projet fiable contre la guerre de nos eaux, c'est le SDF. À travers le fédéralisme. Et il y a quelque chose qui est intéressant. Vous avez vu, au Cameroun, on a vu des partis politiques où le président meurt, la femme prend le pouvoir. C'est-à-dire que les partis politiques ombilicales. Le SDF n'est pas un parti politique ombilical. On a des partis politiques au Cameroun où le président veut laisser sa place au fils, ou veut laisser sa place au fils. En Afrique d'ailleurs, le cas s'est passé au Gabon, le PDG. Le cas se passe au Tchad. Le cas s'est passé au Togo. Au Bénin, dans plusieurs parties. Le SDF par contre, John Fundi, ne veut pas laisser sa place à son fils. Le John Fundi dit, j'ouvre le parti à la jeunesse. Quelqu'un qui se sent fort pour être du SDF, qu'il vienne, il met sa candidature depuis sa cellule. S'il est élu à la cellule, il est élu à l'arrondissement, il est élu au département, il est élu à la région, alors on ira au congrès en juillet, on va donc voter pour du parti. Voilà l'esprit du SDF. Lui, John Fundi aurait pu préparer son fils, les grands-enfants, pour prendre du parti. Donc, le SDF est en train d'innover. Et c'est une bonne chose que quelqu'un le sache.
Let us see the pictures from the north. That is in Marwa, where they had the elective congress. No, this is in Douala. This took place 2 weeks ago. We are in Douala. Yeah. And the next picture, this is in Marwa, when the elective congress of the regional bureaus, Far North Regional Bureau, and we have videos from TICO reorganization and Douala. That's the Far North Regional President who was elected last month. We also have videos of what happened in the South region. But now, Dr. Ndimancho, how ready are the youth for this challenge?
I think the youths have stayed so long in incubation, and I think that they need to come out. But the youth that I know in the SDF, I think they are ready. I've seen quite some vibrant youths in the SDF who talk with a lot of enthusiasm and with a lot of determination. So for those who are in the SDF as youth, I think that they are ready for the change. They are ready for the change, and they even want to cause the change. They are excited to cause the change. You know, much of the change in the world today is caused by the youth, by their aspiration. The changes in the world caused by the youth. And therefore, I even see that one of the principal problems in the SDF now is because of the zeal of the youth. Because they have seen the spirit of the youth, and people are too reticent to reforms. They don't want changes, and they are afraid of the future. And this is I think is one of the issues that cause a storm in the teacup as far as the SDF is concerned. But then it shouldn't only be about the Anglophone youths. As I say, SDF is a national party. I know one of the fights that the SDF has had is with people, I mean, those from the down south or center or whatsoever, who rather think that not fighting SDF as an ideology, but fighting SDF as an Anglophone party, which is wrong. I want to give an example of what I'm saying. You remember what happened in during the formation of SDF on the 26th of May 1990. We had about 6 people who died. There's something that happened thereafter, about 2 months after, that I really want people to refresh their memory, and they will understand exactly what I'm talking about. The fight that people rather fighting the SDF as an Anglophone party, not really as a party per se. After the 1990, when we registered those dead, 6 people dead, what happened that the then Bishop of Bamenda, Archbishop Paul Vetzekop, organized a mass, a ceremony for the deceased people, for those who died, and for those who were wounded during that creation of the SDF. And immediately after that, there is Jean Zwa, the then Bishop of Yaoundé, who organized another counter ceremony. Because in Bamenda, it was like they said, okay, people were killed, and they were killed for a cause. I mean, they were killed because they were expressing themselves. The counter service in Yaoundé was that, no, I mean, they give thanks to God because what happened the way it happened, and it was not as if. So you see, there is this fight, and the fight is not only political, even religious. So I think that as we have seen beautiful pictures coming from the north, I think people should learn to embrace the SDF as a national party. And that let the ground be level for everybody to take positions in the SDF. After all, those who some people who say have been ousted from the SDF, who had top jobs or top positions in the SDF, were not Anglophones. So let people not be afraid. Yes, they were not Anglophones. Let people understand this. So because there's this misconception that people keep on thinking it's an Anglophone party, and the only one the Anglophone to remain there. This is a sure proof that those who were there and had top position were not only Anglophones, and therefore it's a place for everybody. I'm not campaigning for anybody to get to the SDF, but I'm just trying to say that sometimes we need to be open. When we talk about democracy, we need to be open. We need to accept. We need to accommodate. And this is what is not happening in Cameroon. And that is why you find the issues when elections are coming, people start making derogatory statements. In 2018, it was the first time I learned about the issue of Sardina and Tontina. Those things are not supposed to happen because you think that people from the certain region cannot rule this country. Some people have even openly said that people from here cannot rule the country. And I think that we should desist from those kind of derogatory statement that can even create a war rather than can unite rather than unite.
Okay. I want us to Massa Mbanye writing, today the chairman has become the financial secretary and the treasurer of the party. Anyone who has a view contrary to his is sacked with A2. I would have loved Paddy Asanga to respond to this. Whereas Paul Biya, whom Frundi considered a dictator, is conserving his old friends and they are flogging together. John Frundi is dismissing his own old friends. What is he going to hand to the youths? Okay, this one says, j'ai l'impression que les panélistes sont des riots recrutés pour glorifier le chairman et son parti. Ne voient-ils pas que le SDF est fini? Pourquoi le chairman n'est pas dans son Bamenda alors qu'il y a des mairies, les maires qui gèrent leur commune étant à Bamenda dans leur propre maison? N'est-ce pas parce qu'il est devenu plus proche de Paul Biya et le RDPC? Vous allez répondre. You are going to react to that, but let me take one or two more messages. Good evening. I'm writing from Bamenda. Come to join the Union for Change in 1992 elections, and when the CPDM won the elections, he joined the government and formulated a machinery to destroy the Social Democratic Front with the help of the CPDM. When he saw that the conditions were now favorable for him, then he now abandoned the CPDM to form the CRM so as to replace this Social Democratic Front. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I think the method that the SDF has taken is not the best because putting out 30 members of the party who knows the secret of the party is bringing down the party. I think any rebuilding needs to go gradually. Putting out 30 people is in an organization is not the best wisdom. Okay, Evangelist Kende Goloff is writing from Kribi. Okay, SDF did not lose popularity. The problem with the SDF is that they did not support the killings in the southern Cameroon, which was a good decision. And now people know that to take a good decision. Yes, is the SDF also not where they are today because they refused to endorse what is happening in the northwest and southwest regions? And when you look at where we are today, would you consider the decision wise or cowardly?
I think that I made this statement when I was talking previously, and I said one of the things, the expectation of many people was that the SDF should openly declare their intention and actually baptize, let me use that word, and baptize the fight, the useless fight that is going on in the north and southwest region. Immediately, the chairman, Major John, didn't make a statement to that. The first thing was that his house was attacked. Amen. And he too was abducted. He was kidnapped in some occasions. And all of these was about him having to baptize or to support what is going on in the northwest and southwest region. And I was asking myself, if he didn't declare a state of emergency in 1990, is it now that he's going to do that with part of Cameroon? This is somebody who will have declared, and we are saying that he will have declared in 1990 for the whole Cameroon because he will have the whole Cameroon. But he didn't do that. He will come and do that for a part of a country. Is that not cowardice in one way or the other? And for those who even are of the thought, of the opinion that he would have supported the fight, I think that John Fundi would have been a very, very unhappy person today, given the way the fight has gone. Look at the way the fight has doing it. The fight has died. It's dying a natural cause, a natural death, and we're asking ourselves, finally, we are picking our pieces. What have we gained from this useless and useless fight that we have been fighting? Or we just have to cry that we have lost our brothers and sisters, people have lost property, people have lost money, and that some of our children have gone unruly and they are in the bushes. Is that what we are proud of at the end of the day. Because we need John Fundi endorse this fight. He will have been looking about and looking back in anger. Will have been looking back in anger because he hasn't gone anywhere. Or they were thinking that the only person who could aptly direct and lead this fight was John Fundi. I don't think. If they think he's the right person, then they join the CPD, the SDF. Then they support him, the SDF, so that he can lead the fight and take the whole country rather than part of the country. This is what I think. So I think that it was a very, very bright decision that the chairman took. Someone has said here that we are only making a lot of throwing flowers on the SDF. I already said, I know that they have their own kind of mistakes that they did, like a political party. But I think that other people too have their own responsibility. We have seen the nonchalant attitudes where people have developed towards the SDF lately, even those who were members. It is the fault of everybody. We have seen the low civic participation. We have seen how, even the state too has helped in rigging elections. You know, when you rig elections, you fragilize a political party. Imagine a party has worked so hard to reach a level where it is. It has emptied its resources in order to fight and have the result like what the SDF had in the 1990s. Another party will have just died down because, the spirit will have gone down. Because it will have been that, okay, if we have come this level where we have impression that we have won, and you have refused to give us our winning, are you sure that we are going to continue again? What hope do we have for the future? But this is a party that kept on. They kept on going. They didn't get discouraged. And up to date, they are still breathing. They have not breathed their last. And I think that we really need to applaud and to congratulate them. And to say that some people have gone out to fragilize the party, I think is wrong. Because there were people, heavyweights, who left in 2004 and formed even their own individual parties. Where are those parties today? I think the David is still really strong. So to answer your question, I think the chairman is a
yes, it is true. Many persons would fault the SDF for using the Article A2.
A2, yes, exactly.
To get those considered the vibrant brains out of the party. But we have seen them consistently leave the party to create their parties.
Yeah.
We have not seen them actually play that exemplary role that they were accusing the Social Democratic Front of. What could account for this, and how is it also sure? What is the guarantee that if Nietzsche leaves the SDF and goes somewhere else, is going to make the difference? A difference that Barrister Muna did not make, the difference that Edith Kawala did not make, and a host of others.
A host of other people. And that is what I'm talking about. You see, there is this issue, the politics of the stomach. And this is what is leading people to get on and get out of the party. And this stripe, this power tussle. People want to get power just for the reason of it. They want to lead. And as I said, in the 1990s, they looked at John Fundi as the leader. There was no other classification of that they put of John. He was just a leader, and they loved him and they wanted him. But as time passed on, many people came up and they thought that they were more educated, and they thought, how can an illiterate person be leading us? How can an illiterate person be our chairman? And now there was that desire, that aspiration, that zeal that people have to gain power. You know, the issue about being, at the helm of something and being adored and lording it over other people is a human disease, is a human sickness, and that is what we have seen. And I've said people should study from what has happened, from the past examples, that those who have left the SDF and formed their own political party, they are suffocating with those parties and those associations. They have not gone anywhere. What is the proof that you are vying now to become it is easy to criticize here. Usually in the world of writing, we say that there are critics, more critics than writers. Because when you sit here and you see somebody doing something, it is always very easy. You think that you get there and do it. You do not know what that wretched man, John Fundi, has gone through for all these 30-something years to have that party intact. Another person comes there, that party is going to lose its name. It is going to go into shamble. I bet you. Another person takes up that party will not be talking about the SDF now. Maybe the person will even come and change the name. Maybe as the CBDM changed its name from CNU to CBDM. Another person will change the name just to erase the traces of those people who have been there before. So I think it is not just about criticizing. Those who love a party are ready to serve, even at the lowest level, even as ward president or wards whatsoever. You should be able to serve at that level, because the interest of each and everyone in a party is that the party should flourish. It is not individual interest. It should be collective interest. It should be universal interest of the party. But once you put your own individual interest and block and put at their pedestals, now something begins to happen, because what we have studied now is that people have put their individual interest there, and we are not sure that those are interests that are put there, when they get there tomorrow, they are going to scatter. They are not going to deal.
Let's see some of the videos of the SDF elective conferences that took place across the nation recently. Actually, it's still they're still ongoing. There's one that took place in Mungu. Can we have a look at some of them? Okay, they're still downloading. They're not yet ready. Okay. Les jeunes, est-ce qu'ils sont prêts pour prendre le relais?
Oui, ils sont prêts. Quand j'ai assisté à cette conférence élective du SDF, j'étais abasourdi parce que j'ai vu dans la 5e là, fait un goudron de photos, fait un goudron
à terminus
okay. Dans la 5e. J'ai été surpris de constater qu'il y avait des jeunes là-bas. Et tous m'ont dit, Alex, Nguepi, on dit que SDF est mort, mais nous sommes là. Nous voulons prendre notre pouvoir. Nous voulons faire du SDF ce que le SDF a été. Il faut qu'on dise aux gens d'ailleurs que c'est la jeunesse qui avait lancé le SDF en 90. Le SDF a toujours été un parti des jeunes. Et c'est important que les gens le sachent. Donc, les jeunes sont en train de revenir au terroir, au SDF. Et le SDF, dès le congrès de juillet, va mettre sur pied des mécanismes, va mettre sur pied un nouveau programme politique. Ce programme politique-là, en vue d'attirer plus des jeunes dans ce parti. Il a dit quelque chose. Il y a des gens qui ont quitté le SDF et ont créé des partis politiques. Ces gens n'ont pas fait ni feu ni bois. C'est-à-dire qu'ils n'ont rien fait en réalité. Parce qu'en fait, quand vous voyez des gens, j'ai dit aux gens que le SDF a eu un défaut. Hein? C'est que le SDF, il y a eu des cadres qui ont été, il y a des gens qui ont été cadres du SDF sans être des fédéralistes. Qui ont été des jacobins. C'est des gens qui ont pensé que le pouvoir doit se gérer juste pour eux. Ils n'ont pas pensé à décentraliser leur pouvoir. Et ce sont ces personnes qui ont quitté le SDF. La preuve, c'est que grâce à ces personnes qui quittent le SDF et qui créent leur parti politique, ils ont créé des partis politiques avec des statuts jacobins, où ils sont présidents du parti, ils décident de tout, la base est délisée, c'est eux ceux qui font tout. Et ces partis n'ont jamais eu de succès. Les gens doivent comprendre que le SDF est un parti fédéraliste social et socialiste, un parti qui a aussi appris de ses erreurs, un parti qui a 30 ans d'expérience, qui a pris les décisions, le boycott des élections, et ils ont compris que le boycott ne payait pas. Ok? Un parti qui a pris ces mesures, ils se sont rendus compte que ces mesures n'étaient pas payantes. Aujourd'hui, donc, il y a donc une génération, cette génération-là, qui a expérimenté et qui a eu des échecs, ont compris qu'il est temps qu'ils cèdent le flambeau. Et cette génération est en train de céder le flambeau à une jeunesse, à la jeunesse camerounaise. Donc, ces jeunes qui arrivent aujourd'hui sont plus qu'éduqués, sont mieux éduqués, ont fait des hautes études, sont plus assidus, sont plus assis. Maintenant, ils ont juste besoin de l'accompagnement de l'autre génération qui deviennent leur conseil, qui leur conseille de l'action future. Donc, cette jeunesse qui vient au SDF aujourd'hui, ce sont les jeunes macroniens. Macron est possible au SDF. Aujourd'hui, le SDF est le seul parti où Macron est possible. Parce qu'ailleurs, Macron n'est pas possible. Ni John Fundi, dans les statuts du SDF, n'a jamais été candidat naturel du SDF aux élections présidentielles. Quand il fallait désigner le candidat du parti aux élections présidentielles, ni John Fundi allait en campagne dans sa cellule à Bamenda. Vous comprenez? Il commençait par remporter l'élection dans la cellule, l'arrondissement, le département, la région, puis au congrès. C'est le seul, je vais même dire que c'est le seul parti politique camerounais qui offre ça. Donc, s'il y avait eu un Macron au SDF, Macron aurait remplacé ni John Fundi et plus au Cameroun. La preuve, c'est que le droit président juste au choix quitte de la cellule, de l'arrondissement, du département, de la région, pour être candidat du SDF aux élections présidentielles. Donc, il faut bien comprendre que, même quand au congrès du SDF, on va désigner un candidat à l'élection présidentielle, c'est pas comme d'autres partis politiques où quand on désigne le candidat, non, on va désigner le président du parti, on va élire le président du parti. Ce n'est pas comme dans d'autres partis politiques où une fois le président du parti est élu au Congrès, donc lors des élections présidentielles, le président du parti est candidat du parti. On organise une convention, on dit non. Au SDF, celui qui sera président en juillet 2023 n'est pas obligatoirement le candidat du parti aux élections présidentielles 2025. En 2025, ceux qui veulent être candidats à l'élection présidentielle du SDF vont aller concourir dans leur cellule, vont convaincre la base. Ils vont convaincre la base, l'arrondissement, le département, la région, puis ils vont convaincre dans la convention, le congrès qui va être organisé de manière extraordinaire. Si c'est le président qui est mandaté, il sera le candidat. C'est le seul parti qui offre cela. Je veux que les gens s'intéressent au SDF. Je veux que les gens s'intéressent au statut du SDF.
At least for that, I was in Bamenda when Joshua Ossi was elected to stand as the presidential candidate. It was not easy. J'étais là à Bamenda quand il a été élu.
Oui, mais ce que justement, c'est que le président aussi a commencé dans sa cellule. Je vous dis, les gens doivent prendre le statut du SDF. C'est-à-dire que le président aussi a commencé à la cellule. La cellule, c'est la plus petite unité du SDF. Donc, c'est là où toute personne adhère. Il a déposé ses dossiers à la cellule du parti. Et c'est là-bas qu'il a été désigné par la cellule comme le candidat du parti. Et chaque candidat est allé à la cellule. Puis, l'arrondissement de Douala deuxième l'a désigné comme le candidat du parti à l'élection présidentielle. Par la suite, la région du littoral, dont Nietzsche était le président régional, l'a désigné comme candidat du parti à l'élection présidentielle. Et après, le NOAP aussi a fait campagne dans toutes les régions pour convaincre chaque région qu'il est le meilleur candidat du parti. Lors de la convention, il a été élu candidat du parti. Donc c'est le seul parti qui offre ça. Et ce qui est un peu désolant, vous comprenez, c'est que la communication du SDF a été faible. Ils n'ont pas mis au devant les statuts du parti. Ils n'ont pas expliqué à la jeunesse camerounaise que le parti même qui est démocrate, le SDF, c'est un parti qui prône la démocratie. La communication du SDF à cette époque a passé le temps à faire des enchères inutiles, à tirer sur, à mal parler du président aussi, du président aussi, et ni John Fundi. C'est eux qui ont accentué cette idée de collaborationniste qu'aujourd'hui le parti au pouvoir utilise pour affaiblir le SDF. La réalité, c'est que si les gens ont l'occasion de lire les statuts du SDF, ils verront qu'au SDF, c'est purement la démocratie qui prône au SDF. Au SDF, peu importe qui vous êtes,
oui,
vous comprenez.
Mais l'honorable Nietzsche ne serait pas aussi d'accord avec ce que vous dites, hein?
Qui vient en débat avec moi? Parce que quoi? Je vais vous dire.
Parce que vous dites des choses,
juste une seconde.
Lui, il a quand même vécu dans le parti.
Une seconde.
Oui.
L'honorable Nietzsche, pour être député SDF, Est, il a remporté les élections dans sa cellule, dans son arrondissement, dans son département. Par la suite, il a remporté les élections dans la région. Il n'a pas été désigné au SDF. On ne te désigne pas candidat du parti aux élections locales ou législatives. Non, si tu es candidat, tu mets ta candidature et tu pars à campagne dans les structures du parti. Et c'est là où, quand tu remportes l'élection des structures du parti, que donc tu remportes dans le suffrage pour être candidat du parti.
Yes.
C'est une particularité du SDF.
Let us take a look at what actually took place in some of the elective conferences organized by the Social Democratic Front. Processes. Okay, it should be either in Tico or... Why is there no volume? It should be in Tico or...
officer follow in, and the district chairman, I want.
Okay, that was in Tico. I would have loved us to look at what happened out here in Douala. Le temps est fini. Hein?
Oui, c'est que la crise d'expansion SDF, cette crise était parce que les comités qui étaient là, les gens, ceux qui étaient là, qui devaient organiser des élections parce que le témoin n'ont pas fait. Vous comprenez? Le NEC a pris résolution de mettre sur pied un comité exécutif pour organiser des élections. Et le SDF est aussi le parti où ces élections-là se produisent en 1 an, 2 ans. Vous comprenez? D'autres partis, quand ils veulent organiser leurs élections du parti, parce que ces élections-là, on organise ça en 2-3 mois. Au SDF, ça fait plus d'1 an que le SDF est en train d'organiser ces élections. Parce que le parti veut se rassurer que dans chaque zone, quand quelqu'un est élu, qu'il soit l'émanation de la base. C'est ça le SDF. Et je peux vous rassurer que ces personnes-là, qui sont élus, qui sont les relations de la base, c'est eux, si la base les choisit encore, c'est eux qui vont prendre les rênes du parti et les rênes des mairies lors des prochaines élections locales et législatives.
Merci. I love your observations, sir. None who left the SDF went any far, starting from Dr. Kamdum Basil, Bernard Muna down to Kawala Edith, Limbi Lobe and others. The last 27 led by Honorable Ninche are the most unpopular as they left at a wrong time in history. Okay, I'll take 2 more messages and then this one says, hi, read one of your advice on WhatsApp and I have interest. You talked about what was men are eating. Oops, I'm sure this is unrelated to the topic we are discussing here tonight. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to everyone in the house. To my opinion, the SDF is already out of the scene, political scene, so they should work harder to build their strategy. Good evening, Mr. Liu and other panelists in the studio. Since 1992, that the SDF missed their way to Etuji Unity Palace. Everything about opposition in Cameroon is dying down on daily basis. For example, the recent senatorial elections is clear proof of one-party system in Cameroon. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I like your program. I think change in this country could have come through uprising when President Paul Biya changed the constitution. Now, how do we get people actually interested in the SDF, especially young people, to be able to take over the command baton and meet the aspirations of the people?
The issue is that we should have a leader who is the people-centered leader.
Okay.
It means that what? You don't just see people in between the elections, parliamentary or presidential. Don't just see people out of elections. It is very, very important. Because we have a culture in Cameroon and Africa, so we think that it's only during elections that people see you. You come and preach, come and talk. It is not like that. The people must see you all around the year and all around the blank period. It is very important. And when you do that, the people, I mean, let them be able to hear from the party the issue of price hikes in fuel. Let the party speak out. You find people, parties just keeping quiet. They don't say anything about hikes in inflation. Nobody is talking. And the people are suffering. It means that you are not the people-centered. Because when you have some of these burning issues and that touch on the people and you don't talk, it means that you are not the people-centered. So I think, I mean, the parties, they must carry out their own responsibility. There is this issue of personality courts. It shouldn't be. When you are a leader, you become a pelican. You become a servant. There's this entitlement. Somebody thinks that since you are a leader, you are already up there at the level of authority, all other person, level of solidarity. No. A leader is a servant, and that's what political parties have to learn to be. And that one or another thing is that you don't assume a political position in order to gain money or to reap from the party. And this is the problem. People think that there's a lot of money over there, they want to get there and reap. But I want to give the people some hope. You know, the third republic is coming. The disorder, I'm a prophet now, the disorder that is going to be within the CPDM in the 2025 presidential election will help the opposition party who are organized to get up somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to thank you for coming, Dr. Michael.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Liu. And peace to the world, peace to the SDF, and well, we ask everybody to be politically active. You don't sit and condemn when you don't register and vote. If at least voting null and void is still a vote. So please let all of us be politically active as far as elections are concerned.
Also to you, Alex, merci d'être venu.
Oui, merci. Juste dire qu'il se pourrait que cette semaine, j'adhère officiellement à une formation politique de l'opposition. Ce ne sera pas le RDPC. Soyez-en sûrs, ce sera un parti politique de l'opposition. Donc, je crois que je pourrais organiser une conférence de presse en fin de semaine ou bien en début de semaine prochaine pour dire clairement aux Camerounais dans quel parti je vais adhérer. Et je vais d'ailleurs, par la même occasion, inviter la jeunesse camerounaise à me suivre dans ce parti-là et que nous devons reconstruire le Cameroun à travers ce parti.
Okay, we want to thank you to Paddy Asanga, who took part on today's edition of the program from Yaoundé through Skype, and to all of you who took time off to watch this edition of Prime, thank you very much. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.